Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So we're going to drop back in to see what's going on with the Crypt in this video. So I've done a few videos about the Crypt. The Crypt is a sort of a dungeon gear sort of based game. Fairly experimental. It's an on-chain Ethereum game. So you pay the gas fee. It's based on the loot system. So the loot system of NFTs. The loot system was just created by this guy and then basically put out as a series of NFT primitives that other people could build on top of. There's quite a lot of stuff going on with loot, and the Crypt is one of those games. So should disclose that I do some advisory work with these guys, so just so you know that's the case. But anyway, so there's been two chapters first. There's been one chapter completed, should say. Second chapter is still live, and we have the third chapter is going live in a week's time. We have a countdown here, and we can see here what's been going on. So the first chapter, there were 161 wallets and 672 NFTs, the relics. So the relics are the NFTs rewards that you get. Chapter 2 is still ongoing. So there's been 1,482 raiders. So we can see fairly large increase there. So it's 10x. This was partly because the first chapter you had to have a loot, an original loot NFT, which are 1.5 to 2 ETH, or some of them much more expensive, but that's the floor price. With this one, you could use loot token. No, you could use M loot tokens, so which are much cheaper. They're like $10, whatever. Or you can just mint them. And we can see here more relics have been found, but this one's still going. And chapter 3 is here. We'll have a look at that. One thing I would point out. So I've been playing. I didn't get a chance to play chapter 1 because it finished too quickly. I did play chapter 2, so I can actually go and claim some rewards here. So we can see here, this is looking at my wallet now, and so I got actually went and bought this on a marketplace. So from the first chapter, I've got the Fire Gem of Power that I bought, and then I got a Ice Gem of Skill from chapter 2, and I also have one more to claim. So I haven't claimed it yet. At some point I'll claim it. I have to pay the gas fee on that to basically sort of mint that reward. And if I go to dungeons, we can sort of have a quick look. Let's have a look at chapter 2. So we can see here, these are the rewards that you get depending on your activity in the dungeons. So we can see here in chapter 2, there are 16 dungeons in total. So 6 dungeons have been completed. So the rewards are now these ice gems. So the first conquered dungeon, the people who are involved in that got the ice key. But number 2 and 3, they got the ice dagger. Next ones are ice gems. The remainder are going to be the ice coin. You can see here, I did a raid in dungeon 5, which I got my reward for, and then I did one on dungeon 6, which I haven't claimed yet. I also did one on dungeon, whatever that number is. What are we? Dungeon 12, I suppose. So if that one is ever completed, then I will get my reward for that as well. It is people seem to work in logical order, so they just work their way through in the graphical order. I guess what would be interesting is if this was randomized in some way, because I don't think there's any real reason why you would do it in that chronological order. Anyway, so if we look at the third one, so what's going to happen in dungeon 3, happening in a week's time. So what will that be? It'll be late April. So the first conquered dungeon is going to give you the Jade Skull. Although it's actually a bit more complicated, it looks like. So it says that the rarest relics are offered to the best 84 raiding loots in the dungeon that are defeated first. So and the next 330 loots that are raided but are ranked lower than 84 will receive a Jade coin. So basically what happens here is a bit more of a nuanced system. So one of these rewards, there are only 84 of these rewards that will go to what they call the best raiding loot. So those are the loot NFTs that take off the most health points for the dungeon. We can't let's click on that in a minute. Oh, we can see that. So 84, the 84 best loot bags that attack probably this one will go first, I imagine. We'll get the Jade Skull, and then the numbers 85 onwards will get the Jade coin. So basically, they've switched the system around, so there'll be a lot more sort of Jade coins this time. So it's trying to encourage people with high quality loot NFTs to, I guess, be more, not to go through these in order, but to be more careful and use their loot bags in the most optimal way to get that, to create the highest damage, because then they will be getting the best reward rather than everyone just going through, trundling through in a sort of slightly non-thinking way. So I think if I click here, yeah, so we can see here, actually, there was one thing I was going to have a look. So we can see here, the damage here is 13,600. And I just kind of wonder what that compares to. So we can see here, these are much stronger. So this is only 1,600 damage. So that's almost 10 times more damage. So these are going to be a lot more in depth, and that's all part of the experiment, I think, to force people to be a bit more thoughtful and have these things going on for longer. So we can see here, this is it's looked at my wallet and found my best loot. So loot number 539. And what it's also done is sort of split these out. So previously you could sort of see all the enemies in the dungeon and how your loot bag would affect all of them, whereas now you only see the damage you do on the first bit, and then this will overlock over time. So I don't know if actually this is going to be the most powerful. I don't know if this dungeon is the best dungeon to use my loot, because I can't see the entire thing. So again, there's some obscuration going on here. So yeah, I mean, it makes it, I guess, so the best players don't just go around collecting all the best loot. There is a more random aspect to it. So I can raid. So when this goes live, I can raid this one for 79 damage. And we can see here my amulet. So basically, a loot, if you don't know what loot is, a loot is basically just a text list of sort of gear that an RPG character raiding a dungeon might have. So this loot contains a long sword, an amulet, an apocalypse whisper, bronze ring of enlightenment, leather boots of fury, blah 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 blah. And we can see here that the amulet is just sort of random, but the amulet will knock 79 off the zombie lord. That's just how the game's set up. It's just like, not really. It's a meta game. It's an auto play game. There's no skill involved. The skill is just putting the loot against it. So I don't know what these ones do. So I can look and see what I have 3 loot. So I can see here what my loots will do. That's why it's chosen that one, because my loot 4,129 will knock 59 off, and my other loot won't do any damage at all, at least for these options. So yeah, so it just goes to my best loot. So that's the game. It is in some ways not the most sort of interesting game in sort of gameplay, I suppose. You could definitely put it that way. But it's a different sort of game. It's an on-chain blockchain game, and those are just different sorts of experiences. And this is a way of sort of building a community and learning sort of how that community operates, and how you can sort of get it to do different things, I suppose. Let's have a quick look at OpenSea. So this will show us what's going on in terms of the relics of the crypt. So these are the NFT rewards that you get out. So at the moment, these have no utility. You can't play any games with these. But these are just sort of rewards. Obviously, over time, they may become more useful. So we can see here that the Ice Gem of Skull, so the Ice Gem of Skill, is currently, some of these are for sale. These are the, some of these are from the chapter 1, so the Gold Key of Rage. I'm pretty sure it's from chapter 1. Yeah. So there's not an enormous amount of activity, I don't think, going on here. Let's have a look, see if anyone's been trading recently. No, so a few days ago. So again, it's sort of a small group of people playing this sort of stuff. But there has been stuff traded. So there's been eight ETH traded of those sort of things, and over time, I think we'll see some interesting stuff. Oh, there's a gold crown there. That's interesting. I'm tempted now. Shouldn't be doing that. So anyway, so that is the crypt. I say it's based on the loot ecosystem. definitely worth spending time in the Loot ecosystem. There's quite a lot of interesting stuff going on there, and it is, I guess, particularly interesting because it is this very decentralized, ground up sort of situation where there's no sort of one company organizing it. It's just people creating stuff. Another, while we're here, let's have a quick look. There's other really cool thing called Hyperloop, and this was basically, it created a visual look of one of these Loot NFTs. So if you had a Loot NFT, it's just a text list. We should have a look at those as well, shouldn't we? But then if you could then sort of create your own visualization, you create your new. You can create a new. It's a new NFT, but it's a visualization of that text gear list. You could do a bit of customization depending on what they're holding in the hand. So it's just, it's very blockchain. People are creating these, again, not an enormous amount of trading. Again, there's no, if you own one of these, there's no games that you can play with it at the moment. I guess over time people will try and do that, but these are selling for $150. And let's have a quick look at Loot itself. If you've never seen a Loot NFT, so there's very different versions now, but this was the original Loot for adventurers, and literally it is a text list, which may seem ridiculous that people are spending thousands of dollars, whatever it is. $5,000 is the cheapest one, but literally that's what it is. It's a bag, called a bag with a number on, and it just tells you there's a bunch of stuff in there, and then hopefully people like the Crypt will be building interesting games based on the back of it. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is Blockchain Gaming World. Please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.